It's time to buckle up, folks, because it is blustery out there and we're about to talk about episode 3, so strap in.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Episode 3 was a hard left turn from the source material of The Last of Us. Those who played the game will recall that Bill had a rather short-lived appearance and a short temper, and Frank was just a whisper of a story untold. Many fans of the game have spoken out against such a grave deviation, with various outcries of slowing down the story, disrespecting the game, and others that don't really deserve a mention. Well, I'm a die-hard fan of the game, but also a writer, so let me tell you why this was not just a deviation, but a loving expansion of the source material. We know from the game that Bill is paranoid, has a stockpile of weapons, loves his traps, and once had a very important person in his life, Frank. We also know that Bill and Joel have a history, that Joel knew Frank, that Bill knew Tess, and that's about it. In the game, when Joel and Ellie get to Bill's place, he is alive and well, sort of. Frank is long gone. So we know there's a deeper story there, and we never get to see it or hear it, which, when playing the game, I felt was a damn shame. Bill was an interesting character despite his short time on screen. Games, although a powerful medium for storytelling, have their limitations. They need to be interactive, they need to engage the player. One of the best ways to engage your player is to have them fight things. Fighting zombies can be quite entertaining, and easily take up a lot of time. Exploration is another great way to get your players to feel they are achieving something and propelling the story forward. Film, on the other hand, doesn't need to give their audience something to do other than watch it. No need to fill gaps with slaughtering 50 enemies at a time, crafting shivs, upgrading your pistol, then changing your mind, and upgrading your rifle instead, and then changing your mind again, just to go back to the pistol because ammo is easier to find for it. The beauty of film for a storyteller is that the floor is theirs, no interruptions. The team working on this series seems to understand the differences of those two mediums very well. Crafting a game, especially a complex one like The Last of Us, into a TV series is a challenge for sure, but it also gives you wonderful opportunities. The team had already taken a few of those in episodes 1 and 2, providing some expansion to Joel and Tess's relationship, showing how another country dealt with the outbreak, bringing Joel's PTSD into the light. Episode 3 is, quite frankly, did you get that? A magnum opus, an exemplar of using a deviation to make your story better. Bill's story, lovingly told over the span of about 45 minutes, takes us through a treasure trove of emotions and relationship developments. There is the initial excitement and freedom that Bill experiences from his neighborhood being evacuated. No rules for hunting, lots of free booze, and no nosy neighbors to question your bunker. But as we see through the progression of time, that freedom comes with a hefty price: loneliness. Enter Frank, a seemingly harmless fly looking for a meal and walking into a trap that he charms his way out of. Frank's similarities to Bill probably end up being a man with a beard, but his optimism and appreciation of the simple things that Bill has kept throughout the fallout, are infectious. And Bill is, despite his tough exterior, quite lonely. The first really good look we get at the effects of that solitude is when he bursts through the door with the plates in hand, a nervous energy buzzing around him. He's excited, yet still wary, about the company. This tension begins to ease when Frank compliments him for knowing what wine to pair with rabbit. When the meal is over, despite Frank saying he'll leave, we know that's not true. Even for audience members that haven't played the game, it's obvious that the seed has been planted. And then the curtain pulls away. As Bill plays and sings Londa Ronstadt's Love Will Abide, a perfectly imperfect rendition, the cards drop, his hand is revealed, and Frank is there to grab it. His pain becomes our pain and Frank's pain, and there is almost immediate understanding. What follows is not just a roll in the hay between two middle-aged men, which is already a subject that many writers rather avoid due to persisting controversies, but a true love story. Not the steamy, gropey, borderline abusive crap with six-pack abs pasted onto it that we typically get from Hollywood, but the honest-to-God truth of what love is: companionship. We are taken through a series of scenarios, years passing between them, of what it means to grow old together. an argument over the use of gasoline and paint, house guests that only one partner wants, a situation of life and death, the pride and joy of doing something for the person you love, and the ultimate act of love, knowing when to let go. In 45 minutes, we see the evolution of man from selfishness, or beginning of life, to selflessness, end of life. And at the same time, we see the evolution of the entire story. Oh, you thought this was just Bill's story? My dear, you have not been paying attention. This was the story. So when you see comments about how far it was from the game, how disloyal it was, how wasteful it was, remember that they are not just disregarding Bill and his story, but the entire point of The Last of Us. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, consider giving it a like, and we'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe. More content on the way for The Last of Us. We will be following this baby all the way through.